Welcome into Comic Book Food Chain, guys. Of course, I am joined with my buddies and my pals, but who was not bobbing their head to that beat as it drops every time?
It made me jump today.
I
I wasn't expecting it. I was like,
I had it on mute for the first.
Dude, I was texting and then the lightning went off. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Somebody mentioned in the comments a couple weeks ago that like they were listening in their car and it like almost caused them to have a car accident.
So I need to crank it down.
We're not going to. We're not.
But turned down for what?
Turned down, exactly. Well, guys, if you're just jumping in, this is Comic Book Food Chain. Of course, we're going to give you perspectives from across the comic book platform. I'm joined with my guy, Frank Gogol. How you been living this week?
Pretty good, man. This is the first week in 2021 that I haven't had any scripting to do, so I haven't done any scripting. Yeah, it's been nice to relax. I haven't really relaxed, but it's been nice.
I was going to say, once you get in that mindset of doing stuff, there's no way you relaxed.
Dude, that's all I think about. Like when I don't have something to do, I think about like all the things I could be doing. And then when I have too much to do, I'm like, I wish I had so much less. There's no sweet spot.
Right. I feel you. And the expert collector that joins us is always Mr. Aaron Yee. What you been up to this week, eh?
Just staying busy with Flipside, things are always moving over there, so it's a lot of fun. But, I'm getting some sleep now.
Yeah, it's important. And of course, if you guys are fans of Bird City Comics, you subscribe to our newsletters and all those goodies, you know that we launched a badass Rookie of the Year trading card variant for Miles Morales issue 25. You guys came out and supported us in a big way. We're selling that fairly efficiently. So appreciate you guys' love and support. You guys get a chance to check out the cover?
I did.
I used
it for next week's something.
It's good. I love it when I have a good idea because most of the time they're not. So I'll take that win.
No comment.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into a couple things. Yee, let me hand this over to you. We got some shout outs.
Oh yeah. So what's up, Ultra? What's going on? Long time no see. Who else do we have in the chat here? I see Newx guy, Dan Barry. Always a pleasure. 9 square inches. Thank you for showing up.
He's
back. Friend of the show.
Yep. So prize winner, welcome in.
Big time.
So make sure to like and subscribe to the show. Hit that bell for the notifications. And, share out to your friends. Do you think they would enjoy this content?
Yeah,
this is going to be a good one. So take a minute to just drop the link on Facebook and Twitter, like right now, just while we're bullshitting, before we get into the good stuff.
Click the buttons.
Speaking of bullshit, we do have some giveaways we're working on. We are closing in on our 800 giveaway. There it is. It is the Justice League of America number 10 Justice League movie foil cover, courtesy of Apollo Comics or Bird City.
Whatever those assholes.
Yeah.
That was Big Bird.
Big Bird Comics. Screw both you guys.
Oh, right. It is Big Bird Comics. My bad. But we are like just a couple subs away from that 800 mark. So like I said, if you guys want to share that out and help us get some eyes, we could raffle this off next week. So yeah, do it.
I love it.
And then coming up, I made a new slide for our 1,000 giveaway because it really deserves it.
Nice.
For our 1,000 subs giveaway, whenever we hit that, next couple of months, hopefully, we're doing San Diego Comic-Con Canto number 1. This is my personal copy. It's near mint. It's signed by David and Drew. I posted this on Instagram today, and Drew saw it, and I don't think he knew that we were raffling this off, and he was like, oh, so I'm famous like that now. I'm like, dude, I'm riding this Canto coattails all the way to the top.
Man, so many people are excited about this giveaway, too. Like, I know.
It's announced as an animated cartoon or movie. What are we doing? Who bought this up?
It's Westbrook maybe. Productions is doing it for animation, and David is writing the screenplay for it. So it's if you like the book, the movie's going to be good too because it's got the same writer.
Welcome in One Shot Comics. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
So that's where we're at. We're about to hit 800. We're working on 1,000, and I really want to give this book away because it's pretty hot right now, and I want somebody to have it while it's worth a ton.
Yeah, and it's funny. This is the trifecta. It is a very popular book, signed by the creators, given by a creator.
That's right. Mostly important because it's given by a creator.
Absolutely. That's why I left it best for last. So yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so try to get that pedigree, from Frank Gogol's personal collection.
That's right. What label would this get? It would get I think it wouldn't get a
It-
yellow label because it wasn't.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think
CDC
it can. Well, I don't think it would qualify for the black label or gray label, where because you have to have so many comics in the pedigree. I think it would just be like a notation, like in the middle, like from the personal collection,
Eh,
orange
San Diego
label.
Comic-Con exclusive
Orange label.
variant, or yeah,
You
I
heard
like
it here. We're announcing CDC orange label right now.
I
orange
like it.
label.
And I want you guys to do like a bloody thumbprint initial on it with real like finger pricks, so it's extra special.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get
I
that
like it.
special paperwork, from Google, right?
My blood's worth more than that.
Oh
All right.
man.
So,
Oh, oops.
we're going to skip the intro for round robin this week because I can't remember if we have a video. Do we?
Of course we do.
We do. Of course. we do.
You know what, Mr.
This is a
Producer?
teaser. This is
Ant
a
makes all-
teaser.
But this week we're talking about buried treasure, and we were just going to do a whole episode about buried treasure, which is a deep dive into our collections, kind of personal stories from digging
Hell yeah.
in long boxes. But because we were doing kind of like a pirate theme thing, and this was in the news, I thought it might be worth bringing up. It's something we could do a whole episode on, and I honestly don't want to, but it's not something that I want to ignore either. So this past week, it was reported that somebody was taking scans of DC and Marvel comics and uploading them to the Kindle store and selling them and making money off of them, but charging less than what Marvel and DC were. So they were undercutting Marvel and DC and making profit off of these things that didn't belong to them, which, no two ways about it. That is, say what you want about piracy. Like there's not like, people have their opinions, but like making money off of other people's property is like dead to rights wrong. But piracy is an interesting topic in comics because there are a lot of opinions about it and not a lot of data.
Sure.
So it's something that people believe a lot of things about, but there's not really anything to back it up or to not back it up. So I wanted to bring this up to see what you guys think about it because I know how I feel about it. I want to talk last because I think I have some pretty controversial feelings about it.
Yeah.
So like let's kick it over to the retailer because I'm pretty sure I know how you're going to feel about it. But for the record,
Well, this will surprise you. Actually, I don't really care, and I've learned this being as a retailer in my specific space. Certain retailers will care from the aspect of that's not the type of customer you want. Because people that go and download them, they want to read them and they don't want to pay as much. That's the point. Which means when I have a product and I put it out there, it's definitely not cover price most of the time with all the exclusives we do. And that's somebody that's not going to buy from me anyway. That's not their niche. That's not their market. That's not where they live in their comic collecting. They're readers. They don't care if their books are bagged and board properly. They're flipping through them. They want the content. They want the story. Where I know the majority of my guys, filler issues for sure, they're going to read. But the majority of the stuff they buy from me, they don't take out of the bag and board unless they're putting it in a nicer one. So I think that demographic of customer doesn't really roll into my field as a retailer. So it doesn't bother me. People are always like, oh, that must make you so mad. You'll sell less comics. No, that person wouldn't buy them anyway. Hence why they're buying pirated copies. That's kind of the point in my head. So I got no problem with it. Collectors, real collectors and hardcore collectors that want individual issues, they're going to find me. There's nothing wrong with getting a good deal on filling up your favorite stories and getting all this stuff. But yeah, as far as piracy is concerned, I mean, it doesn't bug me, and I don't think it affects my business too much. So,
yeah, and that doesn't even take into account like just free piracy, like people who just download torrents and whatnot. But yeah,
right.
What about you, Aaron?
I mean, we live in a different age nowadays. It's not like what it used to be in the heavy pirate days at all. I mean,
LimeWire.
yeah, I mean, like after that, like what Frank was mentioning, like torrents and stuff like that. The bay doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it once was like the high seas, and then like it would move server to server everywhere around the world or whatever. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of digital comics in the first place. Like I like the physical paper in my hand, and so I'm going to read it. If it's I've never pirated comics. I hear a lot of people that do.
That you'll tell us.
I mean, I'm not going to mention names, but I'm sure there's people with like
Sure.
collections somewhere. But they still buy individual issues. So there's that. I mean, what I hear that's pirated more nowadays is like you can get like a Fire Stick, jailbreak it, and then unlock every like app or whatever, and then
Right.
have free access that way. I mean, that's another form of it. I mean, I'm sure you can buy jailbroken stuff all over the internet. I'm not going to promote anyone that's doing that. It's
Right.
definitely wrong that they were changing the creator's name to sell a copy of something. And they started with something like that's very well known, like Charles Schultz and Peanuts. You know,
Right.
something like that's like heavily bought anyways. But you know, it's I mean, if people are gonna find it for free, they're gonna find it for free if they want it that bad, no matter whatever walls you put up. Um,
Yeah.
it's something that's never gonna stop. I mean, unless like everything's blockchained, which you know, in this day and age, that could happen nowadays, where it's like
Yeah.
I can follow the traces of the legitimate of this copy.
Yeah. No, you know what? Tell me how you feel about this, because to me, somebody that's going to get like a pirated copy of something, it's. I always think of comic books customers as window shoppers because there's so much content. You got the indie game all the way up to the Marvel and DCs, the intimidation of jumping in the middle of the story and trying to get what's going on, and I feel like that's a perfect way to get a taste to see if you like things without making it the money investment. Because new collectors, that's their biggest screw up. Well, we should have a whole episode around that. They buy everything. And then by the time they spent all this money, then they figured out what they actually like. And it's like, all right, well, now you got all these comics. What do I do with it?
Yeah, I mean, but as the saying goes, buy what you like. But I mean, I get it. I get the idea of exploring out to like other comics and stuff like that. I guess I'm a bit old school, like when it comes to that. If there's a title that everyone's talking about and then really jump onto it, they come up with a trade paperback after what 5 issues,
Usually, give or take.
usually, yeah, give or take. And so
Yeah.
I'll buy that, to check out a title if I like it or not. I mean, I'm not one of those people that will sit in the store and read the whole thing. If I read the
Yeah.
first few pages and I'm like, oh, this is awesome, I'm gonna pick it up and buy it.
Right. And you got to remember, digital content is just economical. That's why they're doing it. Again, I love everyone before somebody gets pissed off. And I try to talk my daughter into downloading digital books because it's cheaper for me too. But I don't care because I'm not reading the book. So then I thought to myself, that's why I don't care about piracy, because everybody's going to have their preference. They're going to do what they want to do. And it's an economical choice. And that's not necessarily going to be my target. I don't want to target the economical folks. I need the OCD guys that need issue 1 through 1,000. And then the ones that love their characters are going to buy it no matter what. That's my pool. So again, piracy doesn't bother me. Doesn't sound like it bothers you either. I'm interested to see ripples or waves from Gogol.
All right, let me set the stage here. So piracy for profit is fucking wrong, straight up wrong. Like what this Amazon store that we're talking about is wrong. If I create a comic and somebody else is making money off of my hard work, that's wrong, right? And I don't think there's anyone except for the person doing that who's going to probably disagree. That's probably those art for everyone people, but they're not part of this conversation because we live in a capitalist society. Piracy for people who want to check stuff out, like, I mean, I know that like the common thinking is that this is money that creators aren't making, but like I've heard that a lot and I don't disbelieve it, but I've never seen anything to actually back it up. I've seen like projections like, all right, here's 20,000 copies that were pirated and here's what my royalty would have been. But like there's nothing proving that those copies ever would have been bought, right? Like, yeah, my thought is that if somebody's not willing to support the book and they're going to go steal it online, they were never going to pay for it to begin with. That's just my personal belief. I can't. I've definitely pirated music when I was a kid. Like I don't think I've ever pirated a movie or anything like that. But LimeWire for life, right? Like
Napster.
I'm older now and I get why that's fucked up. But I honestly like if somebody was stealing my book online, I would never be like, okay, I just lost money because of that. On the flip side of all of it, I have given lots of digital copies of my books away for free over the years. I've given, like, I used to keep account, and I've given over 2,000 links to the PDF of Grief since 4 years ago when it came out. And Dead End Kids, No Heroin in the Same. Like, and I've seen huge numbers of people convert into repeat buyers, like people who I know that I gave that link to have bought the trade for that book off my website. Not everyone, not even 10%, but some of those people. And like there's definitely some juice to the idea that some people need to sample something first. The other argument against piracy is like, how is it really any different than a library other than intent, right? Because a digital file isn't something you own. It's not something physical. Like it's theft, but it is looking at something just like you took it out of a library, right? Like, it's not, I mean, that's not exactly one-to-one, but like, that's just how my mind works about it, right? If this book is available in my local library and I can read it on my computer over here, like I don't really see a whole lot of difference. And that person who's going to go read it that way was never going to give me their money either way. So I don't see the lost revenue of it. And like the same thing with like movies, right? People pirated Avengers and it still made $3 billion. Like those people who didn't pay for it weren't ever going to buy a ticket to the movie. So like, I don't know. It's complicated. I don't think I have the right answers. I just have my opinions on the matter. Do I wish people wouldn't do it? Of course. But yeah that's as much as I can ever hope for, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know you gave me a digital copy for, I want to say, No Heroin.
Yeah, which you didn't buy the trade of.
But I didn't buy the trade from you. But I went to my local comic shop that still had issues 1, 2, and 3, and I bought all 3 issues. And then,
right, and that wasn't even out of guilt.
Because I enjoyed it. It was like I was like, oh, this is really good, and I can relate because I've had friends that OD'd and all that, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, and then as soon as I finished issue 3, I was like, I want more.
Yeah. And this is actually something I've been thinking about a lot because my indie stuff, Dead End Kids, No Heroin, Grief, like some of that isn't even on Comixology. Like you can't pirate it because the physical editions or the digital editions don't exist online other than in like Dropbox. But I do have like a book that is going to be much bigger than that coming out, the Power Rangers book coming in June. And like I know that that's going to get pirated. I know it's going to get pirated tens of thousands of times. And I just, like I said, like I just don't feel like those people are stealing from me. They're stealing from Boom, right? Like if that's how people want to look at it. But like at the end of the day, like I got paid for my work and it's hard for me to just kind of wrap my head around that. Also, anyone watching, Dan Barry in particular, I think you had a comment. If you want to read any of my stuff for free, just shoot me a note and we'll talk.
There you go.
Oh, so, as a creator, do you feel like you've made it if someone pirates your stuff?
Okay, hold on. I was just about to say, going to say when your big book comes out, even though I know you and you could probably hook it up, I'm just going to pirate it now. You'll be the first comic I pirate, and then you made it. It's it. You're official.
You know, it is a weird like feather in your cap kind of thing. Like just think I created something so desirable that people would steal it. But like, again, I know in the back of my mind that that's not why they're stealing it, especially when I'm doing a work for hire book on a property I don't own. Like they're not stealing Frank's work. They're stealing Power Rangers. So like, it's like, that's a whole different conversation. But I bet there's going to be like 1 or 2 people out there who are like, I like Frank, but I don't like Power Rangers, but I still want to read this. So I'll go steal it. Like, and that's life. It is what it is.
Right. No, it completely makes sense. What was I just about to tell you? Sorry, I had like some life-changing thought, and then my daughter asked me if I wanted a cookie, and I said no because I gotta watch this bad boy. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, the whole pirating thing is just an interesting topic across the board, and you know what? I remember what I was gonna say. So when I first got into doing live shows, we started doing really well, and we had a big growing audience. And I shit you not, a couple weeks down the road, and Yi was around for this, people started copying me to a T, down to my color schemes for my layouts. I'm not talking like they're doing things I did. I'm talking it looked like my show down to the colors.
Big Bird City.
You never name dropped what the show was, so I never found it. And then I also remember you saying that they were located in the same city as you, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true?
Yes.
That's crazy. Like, yeah.
There was a whole war from giving page dislikes or something like that, because I guess some of it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
It turned into this big thing. But
that went on
kept
for like 6 months.
It totally did. It went on forever, Frank. And I was being professional the whole time. But it was interesting because you had people like come into my defense, and which turned it into the big thing. But everybody kept saying, don't worry about it. Copying is the best form of flattery. And I'm like, screw that. I'm ready to no. Sorry, I'm not with it.
Was their production value as good as yours?
Hell no.
Well, look,
I didn't expect it.
we've got a really popular show that's got a great format. Like, I believe down the line there will be another version of Food Chain, and I will be incredibly flattered. And
Right.
I'll look at them from our high horse and just be like, "How you doing down there?" I'm kidding.
I'll totally message him. Keep up the great work. Toads the Dorbs.
Like,
It's
you
gonna
want
say
to
Toads the
you want
Dorbs.
to join the channel? We need more shows. So.
We do.
All
Yeah.
right, I think that wraps up the.
And then I also like to mention I pirate Bird City shirts, and so hit me up on Instagram for
He reprints the
pirated
shirts that I already print for cheaper. So get your bootleg Bird City shirts.
The lettering sucks, and
Yeah.
it says Big Bird City.
Have you seen my turtle shirt though?
So I don't get sued.
Yes, you send it to us in this DM like once a week.
I still need to order the
broke my
Zoolander
spirit.
one. That's the one I.
Please let me design your shirts moving forward, but we'll talk.
And you know what? With all the graphics you do, we're going to talk about COAs too. But let's keep it rolling here.
I'm not cheap. Or
All right.
that was a collaboration. Don't take all the credit.
Oh my goodness!
There
Can
were
you
no-
add the colors over the top? Sure.
I told you how to do it. Thing. I'm sure you could have figured it out, but you didn't. So, but
You got
yeah.
to get it.
Welcome to our main segment that is less full of anger and rants about people copying Ant. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, actually, why don't you introduce this one, because this was your original pitch when we first started planning the show, and I would feel bad taking it away from you. I also don't want.
Well,
no worries.
Yeah, so I'm on a couple other podcasts, and there's plenty of shows on. Everyone talks about what they recently got. Why not bring up what you haven't shown online and had in your collection forever? It could be something sentimental, like it could be like something worth a ton in your collection, whatever. So I put out the challenge to the rest of the panel to like dig through your collection and find, show off what you haven't talked about on camera, or just like in general, or based on this show, what got you into collecting, that kind of idea. So
Sure.
shout out to 9 Square Inches. So I came up
Big
with
time.
Buried Treasure. Yep.
Buried Treasure. There it is. How easy was it for you guys to go through and find the books and kind of pick? Because as we talked about last time, I'm super organized and I was able to go get the books right away. Like, it just took me 2 minutes to grab the books, but then rifling through and picking the ones, because we set a loose limit that I'm going to go over. But like, that was the hard part for me.
Yeah.
I kind of had I guess since I pitched the segment, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to show off, and then, just so we could get to know each other a bit better too, of like what got us into collecting.
Yeah, I didn't go too
Started our
crazy on
collection,
mine.
that
A lot of
kinda
mine's going to be sentimental.
Yeah, that's the lean I took. Like, some of them are like, there's like things that had stories to them.
Sure. All right. So what do you say we do this round robin style?
Yeah.
We'll just start at the top, work our way down. Let's go to that big screen view, so whoever's showing off can hold up their books. And then top to bottom, what are you guys thinking?
There's going to be a left and right somewhere in there. Food chain order.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, that works.
So let's kill the slides.
There he is.
Okay. All right, so I'll go first. So first up, I've got Jungle Action #6. This was the first Black Panther solo book. It was part of the Jungle Action book. It was an anthology-style jungle action type book, and Black Panther became the star in issue 6. It's written by Don McGregor and drawn by Rich Buckler, who are two just like late Silver Age, early Bronze Age artists and writers. Don is incredibly all writers are indebted to Don for like the modern comic book. His run on Black Panther and the what he did with the story was, it's considered the first serialized graphic novel style story told in comics. Like, I don't know how true that is. I've not read all comics, but like, for this time period, the early 70s or even maybe the late 60s on this one, stories were a lot less serialized. It was issue to issue to issue. And this was like 13-page chapters across like 18 issues. And like, you got like what we would get in like an issue to issue story now, like, arcs and like a larger macro story. So this is one of the first comics I ever had signed. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is
Yeah.
signed Rich and Don. There's two really great Silver Age creators. I had a ball
Cool.
meeting them. This is from before I was a creator, so this is special because back then I just thought I was going to be a comic book fan. Like this had a special spot for me. I'm also a huge Black Panther fan. Top 3 up there with Hawkeye and Iron Fist.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a great copy. It's not a great copy. It's probably like an 8.0 maybe 7.5, but it's got a ton of sentimental value.
Cool. All right, I guess we're on to me. All right, so I'm going to read off my creator names. Tell me if you guys can guess my book. You've got Lin Win, Paris Collins, and Bruce Patterson.
Lee Win. Is this a Spidey book?
It's not. It's a DC book. So let me give you a little backstory, and if you guys did, just hold your hand. What?
Swamp Thing.
No.
Really?
That'd have been cool though. All right, so we had a comic book store that was a little bit down the way from our house, and I used to ride my bike there. And it was one of those things. Your dad's like, "Here's $5," and $5 couldn't buy you very much. So head over to the dollar bins. This is my very first comic book I ever bought, like my physical copy. And I've just kept it over the years. I found it in my closet a couple years back, and my son's like, "What are these?" And then I saw it. I'm like, "Give me this one." Blue Beetle #1.
Nice.
Very first comic book I've ever purchased, literally right here in my hands. So went sentimental, but yeah, this was my entrance into comic books. Got it in a back bin for change, and then I was pretty hooked on after this. This is like poor man's Batman, so I was digging it. But yeah, Blue Beetle #1, and it's such an iconic cover. I mean, even if it's not a huge character, especially this version of it, I know Reyes gets more love, but I loved the cover. I love the lettering for the Blue Beetle. Super classic and boxy. So this has a lot of I was digging around the box, and I was like, I know exactly where this is, and I'm going to pull it from my first book. But that's me, Blue Beetle #1, right there.
Dig it.
All right, so I'll go ahead and start off with a comic. So I'm sure I've told the story here before, but when I was young, I lived around the corner from a Stop and Go. My grandfather walked me around the corner, used to buy me candy and all that stuff. They had comic books, and this is one of the first comics I ever got from my grandfather, and I still have it. So it's G.I. Joe 106. So yeah, it's something that's probably going to stay in my collection forever. And yeah.
That's super cool. That's the kind of stuff you want. Are we doing this snake style, or are we starting back over?
I think just start back around, like clockwise. I guess.
I put mine in a specific order too, so I hope you guys put some thought into how you're showing these.
Not in a pile, but I can move the pile around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next up, I have a twofer. All right, I'm going to do 2 books because they're kind of like A and B of the same story. So the first comic I ever bought was Spider-Boy Team Up. This is from the Marvel DC Amalgam universe. I bought this in 1997 off a spinner rack in CVS. This was I had been the Power Rangers fan, obviously, but Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, Spider-Man the Animated Series. I came up on comic book cartoons, and then how old was I? 10-year-old kid. This was the dopest looking thing I'd ever seen. I've read this now as an adult and understand that this is not a very good comic book, but I still love it. I wouldn't be here talking with you guys right now if I didn't pick this up. But I was lapsed for a long time. I didn't probably buy another comic book until 2006 or 2005. And this was the first comic I bought as a comic book collector. It's Spider-Man 529. It is the first Iron Spider suit. This was a lead into Civil War. I love Civil War. I thought it was a great crossover. But this, this back in 2006, this was the coolest comic I'd seen. And these 2 books are the reason we're talking right now. So that to me is, absolutely priceless.
I love that Iron Spider cover too. That's sweet.
It's so iconic. I probably, if that wasn't the cover on this book and I picked it up just to check it out, I might not have come back. But that is probably still to this day one of my top 10 favorite covers.
Yeah, totally. And everybody knows it, which is the cool part. You're digging around in a bin, even if you're rifling, you could spot that bad boy and be like, okay, I know what this is. Which that's a cool cover. All right, on to number deuce for me. This was my favorite cover as a kid. Again, we're talking all kinds of iconicness here. Check this out.
Nice.
Yep, you got Star Wars. Hold on, I'm supposed to go. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, but anyway, yeah, these are. I will buy these anytime I see them, even if they're overpriced. I love the cover. I'm digging. I love the Star Wars logo. Of course, everybody knows what this is. But yes, these are my favorite. This one I bought. This one Laura bought me, and she's like, "Oh, you already have one." I'm like, "Broski, you can never have enough Star Wars 42s." But yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites. I will buy this book to the end of time, and I will have as many copies as I can. I love this one that much. So yeah, big fan. Star Wars 42s.
What is that? Third appearance of Boba Fett, right? I'm just joking.
I was going to say, are we going to get into this right now?
Nope. All right, since you're doing a Star Wars item, I'll go ahead and do one of my early Star Wars items. So I bought this at a Walmart when I was in, I want to say 5th grade. So I've had this in package for 20 plus years now. And I guess I kind of knew I was going to start collecting stuff back then. And I was like, I'm just going to leave this in package. So I've left it in package ever since then. I mean, I know it's not worth a ton, but, you know, it's that collector's mentality. You know, it's mint in box, right?
Yeah, that's super cool. When you held that up pre-show, I was like, all right, that's neat. I'd put that somewhere to be seen.
That's cool. I have like a whole classic Megazords lineup over there. That's new this episode, I believe. I don't. Did I have the last episode? I can't remember.
Yeah, you did. You brought it up last episode.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to do? Open my Spawn like
Ooh.
Kickstarter toys on camera or something like that? I mean, I can go to my next room over and pick that up right now.
I would love to see you get out of that room right now without upsetting your dog.
He is. Oh, yeah, I know. He's gonna wake up if I do that.
Yeah,
So next up, I've got Kabuki number 1. This is a what? Oh, we changed.
There it is. Yeah, I like this.
This is Kabuki number 1. This is the first print. These are super hard to come by. Probably as hard as the Crow number 1, but people care about this way less. Those 2 books for me were 2 of the books that made me fall in love with comics. As you can see, it's signed by David Mack. This one is special to me because I got it in 2015, and I got this signed by David at New York Comic Con. And it was like right around the time I decided I wanted to try comics full time. Like I've been doing it for 5 years now. And it was about somewhere in October in 2015. That was like, this is what I want to do with my life. I'd much rather do that than sit at a desk all fucking day working for somebody else. And this is such a dumb thing, but like I'd met David a bunch of times. You can see over my shoulder when the screen is a different size that I've got some originals from him up on the wall. He's one of my favorite artists. Cool. And he and I are friendly. And I told him, like, you know, I was like, listen, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a comic creator. And he was like, okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. But here we are. And I consider this book to be like the stake in the ground that I set for myself. Again, like one of those things that like led us to where we are right now, where I'm talking to you guys writing comics. So like, you know, it's not like a really valuable book or anything, but it means a lot to me.
I love it. That's a good one. All right. You guys have seen this. So, you have a lot of indicators that know you've made, I don't say made it, but made your impression on the industry that you choose to work in. And this was our first Bird City Comics exclusive ever with one of the big 2s. Now, of course, we've done indie books for anybody that's fans and jump in. That's not your first one. It's a different feeling when it's your first Marvel or DC book. And of course, we did a Greg Horn. This is an homage to Harley Quinn cover 25th anniversary. And we had him do Punchline number 1, Blood Money. So yes, this was the first one of the big 2 Marvel or DC Bird City Comics exclusives that we ever did. And yeah, we're pretty proud of that bad boy.
I like how he didn't know that y'all did a homage of his book. Like,
so I don't know if you can see. I'm going to hold this up.
It's like Inception.
Do you see that? It says Greg Horn after Greg Horn.
Yeah.
And that's how he signed it.
Well, because you know how he did the homage to Iron Man 282?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then y'all did a homage with the Tigumverse. And then he didn't even know that the book existed. And then like he found out after y'all.
Yep. So Frank, are you familiar with that virus cover he did? It's the first War Machine homage, and you know it's shooting. Okay, so he did that book, and I loved it so much, and I don't know why, but I was just having like a conversation with Marat Michaels, and he's like, "Do a Tigger book." I'm like, "Screw it, all right." So I got in touch with an artist, and I was like, "Can you homage that book?" So when Greg saw it, he thought it was done so well. He was like, he bought all the copies off me. But I felt a little guilty. Normally I wouldn't do something like that, but he's like, I love these. I want to use them. I want to give them away. I think they're freaking. He even bought the graded ones. He's like, I'll take them all. I was like, okay. So yeah, he bought them all off of me because it's an homage of Greg's work already, and I don't know what he did with them. Did them for giveaways or whatever. But I thought he was mad at first.
It's a homage of a homage.
Yeah, I thought he was pissed, and he's like, I want them. Come and get them. We should bring that up to. I'm going to bring that up to him, see if he remembers some point. But yeah, so that was it. Punchline. That was our first big, one of the big two books we did.
Nice. You're up, Ye.
Now you got to move all this sexy off. There you go.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So I have a Batman Adventures #3. So when I was a kid, this is like one of the first comic books I bought on my own. I sold apples on the corner of my street. I lived around the corner from a grocery store. I thought it was kind of funny that people actually stopped and gave me like a quarter for an apple. And then I saved up enough money to buy the first like 3 issues. And then if you can see, it's signed by Kevin Conroy. And he's the voice of Batman for the Batman Adventures. So every time I read a Batman comic, I have his voice in my head. And then the following year, Mark Hamill was at the same convention the next year, and I was going to get him to sign on the Joker part, but his line is way too epic to ever wait in.
Like you need the extra water, change of underwear.
You got to pay someone to stand for you.
Oh, well, so the first day, it was only VIPs. The next day, they had a ticket system, so you had to get there early into the convention, get a ticket, and then I got a ticket, and then my ticket number was like 312, but they were only doing tickets 1 through 300 throughout the entire day.
Oh, jeez.
And VIPs or whatever. So I was just like, kind of like, I'm gonna take this $300 that I was gonna pay for Mark Hamill's autograph and buy a different book, or just buy a comic in general. And so I bought a What If Venom Possessed Deadpool instead. Hit a 9.8. I think I had a better choice.
Nice. Yeah, man. Listen, become a creator.
A sentimental book. But I mean, it'd be nice to get.
I saw a comment in the comments. Somebody asked, "Do I have like better access now that I'm a creator?" And the answer is absolutely. I'm on the show for like sometimes 2 hours before the show starts, and usually for about an hour after the show ends. So like that's prime time to walk over to people when they're just hanging out at their booth. And when you tell them that you're a creator, they usually don't charge you. I definitely try to pay people if they do charge, but like I can't remember the last time that I've had to pay somebody who wouldn't say, no, please, no, that's not me. So that's super cool about being a creator. It's definitely one of the perks.
I'll charge you.
I'll charge
if you're feeling left out. I got you.
No, I'm good. I usually do the donations when they're on the table. Like I know Justin George's always got a little
I do that
can for his cat, so you can buy him cat food. Like absolutely. But all right, so I'm up.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this next one is probably my prized possession, and for no other reason than it's got a ton of sentimental value. This is the first like rare book I ever bought, and yeah, I just look. Hawkeye's my favorite character, so I had to have Tales of Suspense #57, which is his first appearance. It's also the first book I ever got signed by Stan Lee. This not graded. Never going to probably get it graded because I don't care. This is so much more important than that. But this came at like a sort of important time in my life. So back in the fall of 2012, Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast, and I lost the apartment I was living in, and my family lost their house in the town I grew up in. Like it really like turned everything upside down in my whole world for a long, long time. And I bought this book in August following, so almost a year later. But like it was just like I had changed jobs, I had changed where I live, I had a new girlfriend. Like my whole life, less than a year later, was like completely a 180.
You had a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, and I landed in like eventually on my feet in a better place all around. Like this was just like commemorative to that. Like I was like, I'm gonna buy myself something nice. I'm gonna spend the money to stand on the line for however long to get Stan Lee to sign it. But this is also kind of like a sad book for me because I don't know if you guys had ever seen or stood in line for a Stan Lee signing, but they're like, it's like a conveyor belt, right? Like he has his head down or had marker in his hand. Like they take the book, you stand like 15 feet away from him. He signs it. They slide it down. They don't give a shit like what they do to the book either. They can scrape it across the table, and it seemed like slave labor. Like it was really sad.
I've heard those type of stories.
Yeah.
I've done the line twice, and it's exactly what you described. I always went with my brother though, and then we would always walk by and watch him sign the books, and we'd always thank him for signing our books. I mean, and then he actually looked up both times. We said thank you, and
yeah.
So,
as like garbage as it all seemed, like he always seemed like he was in high spirits, and he always at least said hi to everyone. Like you couldn't have a conversation. They would have threw your ass out if you tried to talk to him. But,
right. Yeah, I mean, we just try to thank him.
Yeah. But so this,
and like being like one of the
But so it's a bittersweet book for that reason. But it's definitely my favorite book. Hawkeye's my favorite character. It's a nice copy. It's signed by Stan. Like it's a good memory for that reason. And it just kind of like is a milestone marker for me, like coming off of like a very bad year.
Right on. Yeah, that's cool.
The highlight of your year.
All right.
Yeah. I did have to give up a Rick Remender signed X-Force #1 because I lost it. And like I got the storm happened like 2 weeks after New York Comic Con. I just got an X-Force #1 signed by Rick, washed away. But somebody like tweeted the picture that I took of my collection, like splayed out on the floor when I got to see my house finally. And Rick sent me a bunch of comics. Just real nice guy. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't find them though. I don't know where those are, so I guess I'm not as organized as I thought it was.
Are you sure? Maybe you're too organized.
It's only like 10 minutes to find all my stuff. Even though all my stuff isn't a mess, at least I have organized chaos, I guess.
Awesome. There's a method. It's a method to the madness.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, and only I understand how my books are organized.
So the thief couldn't even get to the good stuff. He wouldn't know it.
Exactly.
All right. Pick number, what am I on? Pick number 3 or 4. Okay, so if you guys have not heard the story of how Bird City Comics started, I'm going to give you a quick recap. So I'm having a dad moment. I'm in the car with the kid. My son Adam, super sarcastic. You guys have seen him on the shows. The kid's got a mouth. It's fantastic. But he was struggling with reading, not because he couldn't, just he didn't have any interest in it. We couldn't get him to read books. His teachers are constantly saying he needs to just be reading recreationally to help with these stuff or these categories of his schooling. So we're in the car, we're driving, and I'm giving him this speech on how important it is to read. Son, you got to read. It's great for your brain. It's good for your imagination, blah, 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 blah. And I'm nailing this dad speech, right, guys? Like, I'm killing it. You could put it on a t-shirt. And then he goes, "What do you read, Dad?" It's like, shh. I didn't. And he knew that. And that's why he called it out. So we're driving and I pause and I see a comic book store and I'm like, all right, smartass. Pull into the parking lot. We go inside. We drop a big old stack of cash on comics. Like we're just pulling stuff off the walls. And right next door to it was a pizza place. So we took our big old fat stack of comics. We went right next door, ordered a pizza, and him and I read beginning to end that whole stack of books. And that became a tradition. We did that once a week. And he now reads way above his grade level, which is fantastic. He's super smart. But he bought me this. This was the first comic book that my son Adam ever bought me. And awesome. I remember, I love the cover. He knew I liked the cover, so he ordered this one for me. It's a John Tyler Christopher cover.
Tyler Kirkham.
No, Tyler Kirkham. I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, Tyler Kirkham cover. And he showed me this book, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, apples don't really grow on vines." And I'm like, "That's what you're looking at, son?" So right. So yeah, this is the first thing my son ever bought me as a present. Spent his own money on comic book related wise. So I've always had it, and this will be one that stays with me as well. And hence, Bird City Comics was born soon after because we had overstock of books, didn't know what to do with them once we got done reading them. So it started the whole thing.
Nice.
All right, moving back to the top of the food chain.
No, I'm not.
Nah.
Bottom
No,
of
we're
the food.
moving to the bottom of the food chain.
Expert collector here. So I wanted to go ahead and showcase my also signed Stan Lee book that was autographed that I actually did not get graded. So this is before I even knew about grading. This was actually the convention that got me back into collecting. I heard Stan Lee was coming to Comic Palooza in Houston, and I was like, I need to get Stan Lee's autograph. Like, when am I going to get another chance? So I was like, do I try to find a super valuable book, get it graded, all that, blah blah blah. I mean, I guess I didn't know about grading, or do I just find a valuable book, or do I find something sentimental? So I found one of the early books in my collection, which is a. But anyways, yeah, and so went through the line, got it signed by Stan Lee, and my brother got what did he get? He got an X-Men book signed. Magneto's on the cover where Wolverine gets his skeleton ripped out.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, Fatal Attractions. There we go.
Hey, yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. I like it. I like the stories that are coming with all the books on why we picked what we picked, because I wanted to go right for everything expensive that I had. Because I mean, you guys have people point out all the time. Somewhere in back of me, there's a Hulk 181, and there's all kinds of shit and this and that. And I'm like, I didn't pull any of that down. I like what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could all pull out expensive books and stuff like that, but people see that all the time. Like, let's get
Right.
deeper.
I like it. I like it.
Expensive books, no place in this feed.
All right. Well, let's roll it. Gogol, is this your last one?
It is my last one.
All right. I think we're on the last round of this.
All right, so this is another really important book to me. It is the first comic I bought with a royalties check from a comic that I made. I take all of my royalties, however much they are, and they're not very much, and I always roll them back into more projects. This is the one exception I've made to that. This is a book I've wanted to own, and the opportunity presented itself. This is going to break the rule we just talked about, but this is my FF #1. Signed by Stan Lee.
Nice.
Yeah, it took a lot of royalties checks. It's not a nice copy. It's a 1.5. Honestly, I don't even think it's a 1.5. I'm very grateful for that grade. Not that I that. But I was able to buy it on layaway. So that's the reason that I own this book today. And I think I put like 20% down and made payments monthly until I could afford it outright. And then the dealer, who ended up becoming like a really great retail partner, mailed it to me, and that's that. You guys have seen it on the back wall with some of my other favorite books. Yeah, this, just like the other books, this one's kind of it's a milestone book. Like, people talk about how there's no money in comics, and that is really true. I could show you the $69 royalty check I got from one of my books the other day for
It's 69 cents.
It was $69.96.
Oh, 96 cents. That's what it was.
Yeah,
So you know he's not bullshitting because he showed us.
yeah.
But that was for a book that went out of print, and like it's not always that bad. It's
Sure.
usually not, and my books have sold, I'm grateful, very well. But like, to be able to continue to make comics and still be afford this all on money from making comics, like that means a lot to me. Like, it's to me, that's like, hey, these people are buying my shit. Like, this wouldn't be happening if publishers didn't believe in me, and the readers weren't buying the book. So like, this is like a huge deal to me. Even beyond the fact that I completed my Fantastic Four run, which I have every issue of. This is actually not the last issue I bought, though. Last issue was the 5 that's over my shoulder, the first Doctor Doom. But yeah, so yeah, it's just another really important book to me for a very different reason, but still comics creation centric. I'm honestly like surprised and happy about how these stories have been really tailored to our spots in the food chain. Like, and like you said, you could have just pulled down your big books, and I could have too. But like, this kind of feeds into like what we wanted to do with this show, and I'm really glad it's working out that way.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So if you're just tuning in or you're been watching us from the beginning, guys, you're getting to know us on a little more personal level. The personal stories that come along with our picks and books. Hopefully, you guys are digging all that because we know everybody's got their own story and how they got in, and I'm sure it's awesome. And one of these days, I'm sure we'll get around to hearing some of the fans and supporters stories too, because I'm sure I'll have questions. I always seem to. But I'm enjoying this. I'm getting to know you guys a lot better. This is cool. Let's keep cruising. Let me get to my next book. I'm going to do a twofer since Gogol cheated.
Bent the rules.
So, if you guys know my wife, let me tell you the best thing about her. Okay, and this is not sarcastic. This is super legit. before you guys start going, oh crap, what's coming? My wife takes the best care of me. I could literally be putting on socks and go, oh crap, this one's got a hole in it, and then throw it away or whatever you do with socks, and I'll have a brand new pack of socks the next day. That's how well I'm taken care of. So she asked me what my favorite comic book was of all time, and one of my favorite covers at the time, I was just digging it, was the Detective Comics 880. So this one has some emotional value because this is before Laura knew how to function within the game and dealing with all the guys and collectors. She hunted this book raw. She paid to have it pressed and cleaned, and she graded it. And I got it and received it this way. And she was super proud of herself and showed me the proof. So I knew that her journey was long. And there it was. But yes, this we made a joke the other day, but I'm dead serious. The house on fire. What are you grabbing? I'm grabbing this book, the pug, then Laura, then the kids, in that order.
Oh wow, you delete the 181.
Right.
That's saying a lot.
Absolutely, this book comes with me first. This is the second book Laura ever bought for me, and we were doing the Hot 10, and you know how they put up blonde girl books. And so I'm a huge Alien fan, and they did this for a long time when Laura was on. They would put up some Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze, whatever, and it would be a blonde in a red dress, and they would be like, "Oh, this is."
I was about to mention the red dress.
You got it. So this book came up, and I'm like, I love Bruce Timm's work, and I was like, and I'm a big fan of aliens. I love watching alien documentaries. Know that about me now, guys. If I'm bored, I'll put on an alien documentary, and I'll either be like, "Wow, that's interesting," or laugh my ass off. One or the other. Either way, I'm entertained. And so she bought me Out of This World. Really cool ass cover.
Oh, nice.
And
one thing I do remember from that episode was they say, "When's the last time you've even seen this book?"
Yeah, and I hunted and I debated buying, and I was like, I kind of want it, and then I didn't, and then it showed up raw, and I sent it in myself this time to get it graded after I pressed and cleaned it. Pretty happy with the grade, but yeah, got my Out of This World that Laura bought for me.
Yeah, how often do you see a 9.0 Golden Age book?
Dude, right? So that was my last one. So yeah, I value the comics that my kids have gotten paid for themselves, and especially my wife when she goes out and gets me cool things that I love. I mean, how awesome is that to come home and you got a Star Wars 42 that's just in the mail, and she's like, "Oh, I got that for you." I'm like, right on. It's a good feeling. So appreciate that. Big love and support to wives. Let me give them their shout out real quick while I'm at it. Nearing Nirvana. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. That's Laura and her gal pals, and they do a pretty cool show. So let me give them their shout out. Are we gonna cry? Are we having a moment, guys?
Nah.
I don't know, Gogol. You're extra quiet, which is unusual. So I feel like I'm hitting you in the heartstrings a little.
Nah, I'm muting myself because my mic is clashing with you. So.
Oh,
it's not you.
Whatever. All right, let's get to the last one here. Ron, bring us home.
All right, so last couple items here. I'll save the most sentimental, I think, for last. All right. So this is my first graded book ever. The first book I ever subbed. So I hit a 9.2 on a Killing Joke. This is probably like my fourth copy of first print. I mean, this is my first print. I've had like
we're 9.2 brothers.
You're 9.2 brothers? Yes.
Mine's a 9.2.
Awesome.
Mine's a 9.4.
So this is. I mean, I've had a 9.6 and I have a 9.8. So
whatever. Talking about the books, right?
Yeah, of Killing Joke. I have.
Yeah.
I've had.
Never mind.
Okay.
I smell what the Rock is cooking over there. We'll get to that.
All right, and then This is one of my earliest graphic novels that my parents bought for me when I was a kid. It's a Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They bought it for 59 cents. I don't know if you can see the price tag on that. It's still on there. Shout out to Renstrom. He told me like there's multiple printings of this book, and this is a 5th print. And then to bring it home, the first comic I ever bought from Bird City Comics. And it was not this price tag, and then Ant got me hooked ever since. So
screw them price tags. I'd do better.
You did do better.
That's how we do it.
I'm not gonna say what it was, but it's like you did better. So, and then production value got me coming back.
See, guys, you look good. You sound good. Spirit fingers. All right.
Then you get the expert collector's money.
Exactly. All right. Right here. So let me just say then I appreciate you guys. That was awesome. I loved hearing your stories. That was really cool. Gogol, you're deep guy, which I dig. Aaron, you sound like you could just have your own podcast talking about stories of cons and collecting and buying. This is cool. I dig this all day.
Oh, that would be a good idea, actually.
Oh, gosh.
I don't think I have
Aaron
time for
Yee
that,
podcast.
You don't have time, man. Do our Instagram.
I really don't.
I love it. All right. So I think that was it for us. You guys have anything to add to this segment?
Yeah, just what I said earlier. I think it's cool that like the stories we ended up telling really kind of highlighted what the reason we're on the show each. You know, I wasn't sure like when we were talking about what this would look like. And I know that my first instinct was to go grab all those expensive books, but then I was like, that's not as cool. Like I want to get to know you guys. I want people to get to know us. We're in this for the long haul, so you guys should know what to buy us, fans. Mail us stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You guys a lot of stuff.
Keep on mailing you stuff if you keep on subscribing, and then eventually you can get some of this cooler
So
stuff.
I guess the underlining statement here is, guys, we got a lot of cool shit. So hit those sub marks so we can give some of it away. It's kind of, I think, what we're getting at.
Absolutely sell an NFT of an iPhone photo of this Stan Lee signed FF #1 to any one of you guys.
No, this is what we need to do. We need to get you in the Deadpool pose where he's laying on his belly on the bearskin rug, holding the book, and just make prints of it.
The Jeff Goldblum.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sign it, and we'll just make
nice.
I like it.
If I can be serious for 2 seconds,
Sure.
I'm looking at the comments. I see a lot of new people in here. Since the episode started, I've seen the subs go up 5 or 6. If you guys are watching this and you like what we're doing here, hit the sub button. Do the thing. We want 800 so we can give away shit.
Yeah.
We're more excited to give away stuff than is natural, and so help us.
Oh yeah, I got a stack of books I'm ready to give away, and they sit here and stare at me, and I'm like, dude,
I've got a list. I got a list of things that I'm like, that would be really cool to give away. That would be really cool to give away. I have a list of things that Ant owns that to give away.
Well, you know what's funny is I was thinking that we keep upping each other. You're like, you showed something as a giveaway, and I'm like, I got to do better than that. And then you come with Canto #1. I'm thinking, shit. All right.
I mean, I think I got a slab in my pile somewhere that I'm ready to give up.
I love it.
Or I might have recently won it from another show that, where it's like, hey, I think a fan would like this more than I would.
But real talk, we like doing this. We like seeing you guys in here,
Yeah.
and we want to take care of the people who are supporting us in our various endeavors. So if you do like what we're doing, hit the sub button, hit the stupid little fucking bell or whatever, and keep coming back. We want to keep doing this forever, and we want to keep you guys entertained. So.
Absolutely. And one more quick honorable mention shout out, just because I thought of it. Yee, I got to let you know, I almost picked your book. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
So when Yee was, he knows. So he was watching the show, and it was my birthday. I'm doing a show, and I don't celebrate my birthday. I'm not that type of guy. If somebody says happy birthday, gets me cake, fantastic, I'm in it. But I don't remind people when it's my birthday. I don't look for any of the pats on the back. You should love me every day of the year is how I feel about it. So with that being said, Yee catches when it's my birthday. And this guy sends me a slab for my birthday, like happy birthday, Aunt, slab. This is when he was a customer, just before I knew him. And I almost picked it for this, and I was going to show it. You're the first and only customer that's ever sent me a book just cause.
Oh, wow.
And I still have it. It's in my pile of stuff that doesn't get looked at or touched or go through. That's my good stuff. And
it's before Tynion started signing books like left and right too.
So it's a James Tynion, a Detective Comics 1000. Yeah,
4 times signed, I think, or something like that.
it's a killer book. So yeah, I almost picked it.
No, I look forward to showing off all the books that you're going to give me for free. So,
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to send you free books, like those Power Ranger things that you were talking about and we were looking at. You're gonna get that in the mail one day, and you're gonna be like, "Man, I want to hug that guy so bad."
it's great, great, and you're going to get a flaming bag of dog shit probably.
As long as it's signed, I'm good with it. All right, so that's the touchy
That means
feely.
he's gonna send you more spicy noodles. That's what he really means.
Bring it.
I'm going to send you 2 times spicy and not tell you.
You guys are special to me. I love it. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that segment. We enjoyed hanging out with you. We enjoyed talking about all our books. I think we're going to get into what we're eating. You guys ready to do this?
Yeah, and this may or may not be the last what we're eating. We're talking about spinning it off and doing it as a weekly pre-recorded thing, so you guys can know ahead of time. And so I don't know. This feels kind of special.
Oh, dude, this is a sentimental episode. I am definitely going to need a Snickers after this and some tissue. Hit it. I said Snickers and tissue.
Now with music. You may have noticed that for the last what we're eating, we added music.
Yeah, that's my bad.
We can use it for the,
Oops, my
we
bad.
can use it for the pre-recorded one.
Yeah,
All right,
no worries.
heads up. Let's talk.
Sorry about that.
What are we reading this week?
All right, so guys, what we're eating, if you guys are new to this is a segment, we're going to share a screen with you as you see there, and you're going to see what we are consuming as a collector, creator, retailer, things we're just enjoying. Check out everything that we're posting right now. Give it a try, give it a read, let us know what you think. But looks like Frank's kicking us off here.
Yeah. So I'm obviously a Kanto fan. David and Drew are buddies of mine. The book is excellent, and it's been such a trip watching them grow and the series grow over the last year and change since it debuted. So I'm obviously going to check out Kanto and City of Giants this week. I'm extra excited about this one because Sebastian Perez is subbing for for Drew on the art for this book while Drew works on volumes 3 and 4. So this is kind of like a filler arc, but Sebastian is one of my favorite artists. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, he shares some of the most beautiful, well-designed art. He did Disaster Inc. for Aftershock, and it was a beautiful, fun book. So like, honestly, I love Drew, but I'm more excited for this because I love Sebastian too. Oh, fuck you. Yeah. But, everyone who's watching this, I'm sure you all are going to check it out anyway. But if you weren't going to, go check it out.
Dude, what's funny? I almost put this on my list. Like, I don't look at y'all's picks, and I just like pick books.
That's why I put mine in first.
Yeah, I almost put this also. So.
Dude, this is fresh. Dude, like, look at the bag hasn't even been taped down. These just got dropped off today.
That looks like a 10-1, man. 10-2. That's a crisp copy.
This is crispy. Yeah, I'm putting this in the Gogol pile.
Nice.
Yeah.
Second up, we've got Superman number 30. I can't remember if I was ranting all my joy for Superman 29 and Action Comics 1029. But I'm a lapsed Superman fan. I've always loved Big Blue, but like it's really hard to find a good writer. Like he's very hard to write. I do hope I am tasked with it someday, but I would be terrified. But Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's just an incredible writer in his own right, came on for the last 2 books, and he's writing both series. And the first 2 issues were 2 of my favorite comics so far this year. Super looking forward to this. I actually read it today. It's pretty good. This is in good hands. And then on art, he's got Scott Godlewski. I'm saying that wrong. I know it. Godlewski. Sorry, Scott. But the art on this looks awesome. Following the art in the last arc, like just changing artists is always it sucks because like it can go wrong. But like the book looks great. The writing is on point. This Superman's going to be like a must read every week for me that it comes out.
Frank,
cool. Yeah.
I have a question. Are you in danger right now? Because I remember someone once telling, there's never going to be a DC book on my list.
Can we screenshot that from our private chat? And
twice. Now, listen, if it wasn't Philip, I wouldn't be reading this. Not a chance. I do read a Batman book. I do read the Tinian Batman book.
Okay.
but that's like a carryover, like, from when I read a lot more DC. Look, I'm capable of change. I'm capable of growth. I've gained so much weight. I'm kidding. But
Not what I thought you were going to say, but all right.
9 square inches. Anyway, that's my number 2 pick for this week. And rounding out the trio, I guess, is Daredevil 29 from Zdarsky and Chichetto. This there's not really a bad Daredevil run, like, especially starting in 1998 moving forward. You can make some arguments that the Diggle run was not as good as what came before it, but following Brubaker and Bendis is undesirable situation to be in. But I've really enjoyed Zdarsky's run. I think Zdarsky is a really underappreciated writer, especially because he's got to start as an artist. But I've super enjoyed this book. I'm looking forward to reading this tomorrow. If you haven't been reading this, absolutely check it out. Go find the other 28 issues, because there hasn't been a dud in the mix, and there's new life in the book, which is always hard after a book's been running for 700 issues. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, the character design for this new character is killer, by the way. Like that, I'm digging.
Daredevil.
Yeah,
she's Daredevil, man.
And they nailed it though. They didn't oversex it. It's sleek. It's sharp. Like when I saw the character design, I'm like, they nailed this. They didn't go overboard. It's appropriate, which I dig. Like female characters, they get a little tossed a bad name when it comes to uniform and all that kind of stuff and storyline. But she's badass. She looks good. She's tactical, which is also kind of fun. You know me, things got to make sense for me. I picked apart Godzilla.
Yeah, and like, look, I don't want to spoil who's under the mask for anyone who doesn't know, but like the suit is worn by somebody who would wear that suit and not be okay with anything else. So like,
I like it. I dig it.
Those are my 3. And this week I've actually got another comic for my like not weekly comic pick. Over the last week, I caught up on Nailbiter Returns, the 10-issue follow-up to Nailbiter, which was one of my favorite series that I've ever read. Huge horror fan, huge slasher movie fan. The original Nailbiter is like the perfect synthesis, like unified theory of like all those tropes. It's over the top. It's amazing. So I was excited to read this, but I didn't want to read it like drip method, like one a month for 10 months. So I waited, I avoided spoilers. And then I burned through the 10 issues in like a morning. It's so, if you read the original series, it's more about the first time around. If you haven't read the original series, absolutely go pick up those first 6 trades. They're such a breezy read, and there's so much goodness in them. I would go as far as to say that this is Josh Williamson's best work. I haven't seen a lot of like Henderson's other art, but like the art in this book is super good too. Like it's pitch perfect. The book's got a little bit of humor to it. It's just a really balanced, fun book. And it sets up a really cool next arc. So I'm excited for that whenever it comes out. And obviously I'll read that in like 45 minutes too. So go check out these books.
I had a question about the series. Did it recently get optioned, or is it starting back up again?
They did this as a new number 1, a sequel, but it picks up off of like a last scene teaser from the previous series. And in the trades, it's trades 8 and 7. Or 7 rather. So like it's kind of straddling that line. It's definitely like, if you take away the 1 through 10 numbers on these issues, they should be issues 31 through 40 or whatever they would have been. Like it's literally the next 2 arcs.
I like it.
Nice.
All right, that brings us to me. So this is an interesting one because typically we put on things here we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this one for a very specific reason. I'm looking forward to it because I want desperately to like an Aliens run. Desperately. I mean, when we did our topics and stuff like that, Frank had a book of, it wasn't Aliens, it was Godzilla. But, those are older books and I didn't want to go back. Like, I want something current. I want to get into it. I want to be invested in it. And Aliens number 1 was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But geez, it was such a setup issue. It's like cool shit could be happening. So this one is going to break my Aliens. If when number 2 comes in and I read it, and if it doesn't give me what I want, I will not be picking Aliens number 3 anytime soon. So this is an important book to me right now because I desperately want to like Aliens.
Have faith. It's Philip Kennedy Johnson who is writing Superman, and he is one of the best writers right now. If you're looking for more of his stuff, Wonder Woman Dead Earth, super good. That's him, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Philip Kennedy Johnson. This is the Stephanie Hans variant. Of course, anything that's got black and yellow in it, I'm digging it automatically. So the cover was killer.
And Stephanie Hans, she's definitely like one of the like she hit really big for a while, and then like she's cooled off a lot. But I think she's starting to build up like her stuff again, and people are starting to pay attention.
Yeah, and this should be another conversation because when I went back and I saw this, and I'm like, this is a Hans cover. I'm like, maybe there's another Hans because it doesn't fall in line with the work that I've seen from her, so I didn't recognize it right away. But it seems like she's adopting the current style of what's popular, like these solid color backgrounds with the image. I was like, okay, she knows what's happening, and maybe this is a part of the comeback, which is maybe a cool topic we touch on, and how maybe creators start to curve their creativeness to make it appealing for the mass market. But hey, we'll get into that next time.
I think that we are moving towards like a more design focus type of cover, and I think we can probably track that back to Jonathan Hickman. But that is me with a whiteboard explaining lots and lots of theories.
Right. So this is a make or break.
Yeah, but for new comics, I say give it the first story arc to decide if you like it or not. Yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion.
See,
you're buying them to sell to other people. You can read it for free.
You guys don't understand. I have an anger issue that comes out that 2% of the time. 98% of the time I'm fantastic and I'm nice and I'm great and all that good stuff. If this book doesn't do it for me, I'm going to lose my shit over there. And if I read a whole arc and got to the end and decided it still wasn't what I wanted, and I think back to how many issues I read to get there and I still don't like it, I'm calling both of you late night and bitching at both of you for making me do it. So, all right.
What's an arc usually, like 5 issues? 4 or 5?
On a book like this at Marvel, 5 or 6 for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll take that late night phone call. I'll probably still be up anyways.
I have a better idea. Videotape yourself, and then we'll post the reaction.
I'll like just hold them and I'll start crumpling them up, and then I'll run and jump in the pool and drown them, and then I'll jump out and be like, "Oh, glad I got that out of my system."
GoPro live streaming.
You guys are crazy. All right, so that's my aliens pick. All right, next up. Okay, so I had this image up, and I think one of you guys was like, "Yeah, this image was from an issue that came out maybe a while back." I think this is like the headshot from like between 10 and 15 or somewhere in that range. But anyway, this is the Alex Ross art book. So these oversized art books with the prints on the inside. And I love those things. Laura and I buy them for all of our favorite artists, which is just a cool thing to have. She's got a bunch of Art Journal volumes, Middleton volumes. And then I saw the Alex Ross. I'm like, yes, I'm ordering a couple of these. So this is what it is. It's the interior art. They do it in volumes. Typically, they do it from their current runs. So when this one comes out, it's probably going to be Immortal Hulk covers that he's done. If you guys see, I got the Justice League number 5 second print, which was a different image. It's the Alex Ross Shazam, which I love how he draws Shazam. One of my favorites for the classic DC characters. I even like that he does like that old school art build from like the 60s on how they used to illustrate how men looked with the huge chests, like the little waists.
Do you not look like that? I look like that.
No, my waist size is I'm this. I have no curve.
No ass.
Shout out to Laura for doing the Norman Rockwell comparison to Alex Ross.
That's her move. Whenever we bring up Alex Ross, she's like, "Oh yeah, he's the Norman Rockwell of the comic age." That's her line. Ask her next time if you don't believe me. That's what will come out of her mouth.
Can she name another artist though?
The one she likes. Yes.
So also, did you read the previous art book that Alex Ross put out?
I own that one, but I don't open them. I just keep them in the. Okay.
So in that book, he has drawings from when he was a kid.
Oh, I have seen them.
Yeah, and then if you look later, it's like covers done in his style now. Like, yeah.
He went back and redid his childhood art, but in his skill set currently.
Yes, and it's amazing. Like where it's like, whoa, like.
So it'd be like Frank holding up like a paper that he drew, he wrote in creative writing in 3rd grade versus now. Like his C+.
I wrote Dead End when I was 8, so. No, the crazy thing about these books is I saw the first one that you're talking about. He's got more talent when he was 8 than we all 3 put together have ever. Like we could start
what they were supposed to
today, and
Yeah.
we would never.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, keep it cruising.
It's like Picasso, you know. Have you seen Picasso's early stuff?
Right, Picasso. I love it. And that's one of my dreams. I had to own OA by Alex Ross. Real quick. Okay, so again, I'm going to reference Laura and her show, but they did an interview with Trish Forsner, and that chick is all kinds of cool. Just cool people. Cool vibe comes off her. She's got a very different way of thinking, which I appreciate that in person. And they have this series, Stray Dogs. Everybody's heard of it. It's Gee's read these. I'm gonna not lie to you. I'm waiting for the trade because I did miss out on one, and it'll bug me if I try to really scramble around and do it. So once the trade comes out, I'm gonna knock this bad boy out. But I love all the horror movie homages with the dogs because it's you know the cover, but you're like, what's the stupid dog sitting in the chair? It's Annabelle. So I love how they've been taking these and doing the horror movie homages. But yeah, I'm looking forward to starting to collect from 3 forward just to have them. So big shout out Tony Fleece and Trish Forsner. This is one I think a lot of people are going to look for anyway. So.
And then I heard Trish doesn't really do interviews either, so it's amazing that Comic Book Women got her to agree to.
Comic Book Women gets all the best guests. They had Trish. They had me.
Twice.
Which were some of the favorite episodes to watch? Because y'all did throwback stuff, huh?
Yeah, we did the 90s cartoons, which was a great episode. And honestly, that was my second episode, but the first episode I was on is the reason we're talking right now. That was like where the seed for this show came from. So
I knew I was going to like you, Frank, before I knew you. This is for real. When Laura put out the 90s cartoons episode, she did that without you. And then you said you need to do a second one and I want to come on. Like you reached out and were like, I want to do this episode and I want to do this specific thing because I want to talk about it. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. And you guys did that episode and it was fantastic. So,
well, I had to come back on and save face because the first time I was on, I said Star Trek and Star Wars both suck.
And when you said that, I was like, at least he was honest about it and didn't try to be like, I'm going to choose one or the other because I'm
not that outright bad, but like Star Wars, the 6 of the 9 movies suck. Like outside of the main series, like that's not a good franchise. No matter how good the 2 that were good are. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
That's Stray Dogs.
Yeah. The issues I've read, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a story that I'm going to keep on reading and seeing what happens. I mean, I've just been digging on indie titles more than like some of the big 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So this is one of the shows I started the other night. I was working packaging, to all hours of the night, and so I had to put on something to kind of binge and something I'd be interested in, but I could kind of half watch and work. So originally I put this on for background noise. Okay. I love Pacific Rim. I think the movies were really well done. I like all the actors in them. I like the concept. And so I put this on Netflix. I'm sitting at my table. I'm packaging all kinds of stuff. And about 5 minutes into the first episode, I'm like, I can't do this. Like I either need to work or I got to watch because now I got sucked in. It was a really cool story. It comes right out of the gate swinging. There's a mech battle going on and drama and the kids' parents. Are they dead? They're babies. Oh no, they're grown up teenagers now. Where their parents said I'm like, okay. I know I gave you guys some spoiler there, but it's not too bad. And
I saw the
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Hence.
It wasn't.
Dude,
yeah.
So the parents, they did that. We'll be back. We promise. And then the little boy's looking at you, and then all of a sudden he ages, and I'm like, shit, they never came back. And I'm like, I can't work. I got to watch this. So I had to focus. And so I got nothing done. I sat down and watched 3 or 4 episodes in a row. So I'm really enjoying it, guys. It's got that nice balance. It's what you look for in an anime. It's not too adult, but there's definitely arms that get chopped off of the monsters and all the good stuff. The kaiju get their asses kicked. People do die, so it's got enough adult. It's got a good story to it. It's really well done. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I didn't finish whatever's on Netflix. I think it's the first season. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think I've been watching too much other anime because I'm used to subs now instead of dubs. And so like when I started hearing English and animation, like it threw me off. Like I'd never expected to be one of those people. And it just, I don't know, like it just distracted me. It distracted me more than it should have.
See, and I get
And
you because
so,
I'm the opposite.
yeah, so I used to be the opposite. Like, where I wouldn't mind if it was in English, like just because I usually do other stuff and like it's something I've seen before probably.
Okay, hold
But
on.
like, because I've been watching newer anime now.
I got a question then. Do you guys have seen Drunken Master, right? Jackie
Yeah.
Chan in his prime. Have you guys ever seen it just subbed in what is it, Cantonese or what language that the original, the OG is in?
I saw it.
I would guess that's
Mandarin.
probably Mandarin.
I guess I should have said Mandarin. Have you guys watched it in Mandarin or do you only
Yeah.
watch it in English?
English.
You can't watch that movie in that language. It drives me nuts. Sorry. Side chat.
I mean, I guess I grew up in a Chinese family, so I hear Chinese all the time, like when I'm outside of my immediate family. So I don't think it would distract me too much. But I mean, I think it's kind of funny, like where you see their lips moving still, and then it's not matching anything they're saying.
That's my favorite part.
I mean, live action. Yeah.
I can't watch things twice. Like we've talked about this. So to watch it with the subs and then not be able to like look at the movie and appreciate like the directing and have to watch it again. And like I know it's not happening unless the movie like blows me away. The one sub movie that I've ever watched a second time, and I've actually watched it like 15 times, is Hero with Jet Li.
Yes.
It's just such a great looking story, but also just a good story. So that one doesn't have a dub, so had no choice.
If you like Korean films, I Saw the Devil was worth it. It's slow enough where you can read the subs, and then yeah. So if you like Korean like horror,
yeah, I'm getting better with subs though. I've been watching a lot of the Power Ranger Sentai, like the original Japanese versions, just as filler for the elliptical. And my wife's family is super into opera, and opera has super titles because I don't speak Italian or French or whatever language the operas are in. So I'm getting better.
I just learned another layer to the onion that is Gogol. You've been to the opera.
All right. Do a deep dive through my Facebook pictures. There's some dapper photos of me at the opera.
I was going to say, there's got to be a picture of you in a bow tie somewhere, and I'm going to find it.
All right. So for my first pick, I picked Usagi Yojimbo number 18, which is written and drawn by Stan Sakai.
Nice.
Multiple Eisner winner. He won last year, I believe, right? Is when he was awarded something, like multiple awards.
Got me.
But anyways, yeah, I thought this issue was interesting because so Usagi's been doing 1 in 10 incentives since since issue 1, but this one was different. So 18 was supposed to have a 1 in 10, but it was a qualifier where stores had to order issue 17, at least 10 issues of issue 17 to qualify to order the incentive for issue number 18. And now Diamond Previews doesn't even have it listed as a variant. Like you can't find it in their system. I mean, I don't have a Diamond account, so I don't exactly know. I know there's a lot of issues that you had to like call Diamond to make sure that you're on the list to get approved to order the incentive. But I'm enjoying the story anyways, so I'm probably going to pick this issue up. I hope they do still come up with the incentive somehow, but who knows? The next book I picked was Guardians of the Galaxy number 13, which is written by Ali Yuling. The interior art is Juan Ferregue. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This cover art is drawn by Rob Liefeld. As you can see, there's no feet. So I've been picking up all these Deadpool covers for his 30th anniversary that have been spanning across other titles. This is purely a cover buy. I don't read a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy books, but I probably should be. And then for my last book, I picked Chariot number 2. I've become a big fan of Jeff DeCal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is written by Brian Hill. The artist is Priscilla Patrice, and this cover is also done by Jeff DeCal. I purely picked it up because I'm enjoying his artwork on all his books that he's been working on. And then I actually read the first issue, and this kind of reminds me of like the 80s where you have like that quick action scenes, you have a talking car, and then it gets deeper until the end of the issue of issue 1. So since issue 2 comes out tomorrow, it's like a what is it? You see like AI into it. So I think this is a very like interesting story where it plays off of like something that's like a throwback, but also something that's new. So it's a mixture between the two worlds, kind of similar to
Right.
this show.
No, that's a good comparison. And AWA's got some good stories. I mean, that's a new publisher this year.
They've been out for I think since 2018.
Okay.
I like their books. I have a hard time understanding what the brand is. Like it just seems like here's this A-list creator, here's your Ed Brisson, here's your Brian Hill. Here's a book they wanted to do, which is a brand. I just I want to know more about like what they want to be doing though. But I've enjoyed everything I've read by them. This I didn't know about this, but this seems like it might be worth checking out.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm sure you can still probably find issue 1s of any retailers that carry AWA books. So check it out if you can. Pick up issue 2 if you can't.
Dig it.
And maybe you could just And I'm sure they'll come up with a trade, right? And for what I'm watching this week, I am watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I know this series is coming to an end soon. I mean, there's a lot of people speculating on what's going to happen next. Like, are these characters going to show back up? There's like tons of rumors like hinting up for the next episode that's coming up Friday. So, I guess we'll just all have to wait and see what actually happens. I mean, I really don't have any bets on anything.
I would start snatching up those first what's his name, Joaquin. Is that
who is it? The crew number 1, the grandson, first appearance.
No, the new Falcon who took over as Falcon when Sam got the shield. I think his name's Joaquin, isn't it? He's in the show, but if anyone's happened at the end of this, it's going to be him or Patriot.
Oh,
yeah. Is it that Truth book?
Yeah.
No, that's Patriot. But I think he debuts as Patriot in Young Avengers, which I saw when I was going through my box. One of the few comics I own.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'll figure his name out.
Is it just me or oh man, I don't want to make anybody mad again, but I had no desire to watch this. I don't know why, but Disney Plus has been doing a very good job at like sucking people in with the things they could be doing. Like the spec on their episodes are crazy. WandaVision, it makes me want to watch it.
So I don't think it's them though. Like WandaVision, there's some shit in there that's like clearly engineered to get people talking, and that was like feeding into like the Twilight Zone of it. There was something with the clocks and like the hands on the clocks pointed to the letters X, M, E, and N. Like, all right, that's obviously something, but there's nothing in the show, not a damn thing to speculate about. Nobody learned their lesson from WandaVision.
But do you remember like? I think Marvel knows what they're, MCU knows what they're doing, because you remember from Far Away From Home, they teased ASM, an issue on the side of the boat or whatever, which was the first appearance of like Hydro whatever.
Oh yeah,
and so that book like shot up like crazy, and then it became nothing because it was.
Yeah, well, that's it. It always ends up being nothing, right? The only things that ever end up mattering are first appearance. First Vision, first Wanda and Pietro, first Captain America. Like those are the things that always shoot up and matter, and then everything else is I don't know. It's optimism that is misplaced.
I mean, who would have expected West Coast Avengers 48 to shoot up like that? First appearance of White Vision.
White Vision.
And I mean, and they left it open and ended, right? That they could bring him back at any moment in time.
Yeah, but again, that's a first appearance, right? It's not like the mention of something that is like I was listening to an interview with the guy who created WandaVision and directed all the episodes. Like that astrophysicist thing, he was like, that was absolutely never ever going to be Reed Richards. And like, first, Reed isn't an astrophysicist, so I'm not even sure like how that became the spec. He's like an everythingist, like he knows all sciences, but like that would seem like a stretch. But like it's confirmed to not be. But like I think that if Marvel learned that, it would have been from WandaVision. And like at this point, we're not seeing content that would be affected by that knowledge yet. Right? Like She-Hulk just started filming. Look for She-Hulk to lean into shit like that. If that's what Marvel took away from WandaVision.
There you go. So not only are they creating content for us to watch, but they're creating spec, whether it's real or not. And it makes it more fun because it makes a hobby collectible across the board.
I wonder if we're the ones making the spec though. Like Marvel doesn't give a shit if Silver Age back issues go up on eBay. They're not making any money from that.
Unless it's people doing nefarious acts and buying those books beforehand and then selling them afterwards.
I don't think Kevin Feige or are doing that though.
But I mean, like, if some boom mic operator like gets a script and like he's only making like whatever minimum wages in California, like, and he needs to pay rent or eat. Like, I'm sure
they're going to do stuff like that, but at the same time, it's still content. So what that'll make speculators do, and think like podcasters, these guys are watching this thing at 12:01 in the morning so that they can be the first one to create an episode the next day. That's all content that they're creating, even if they have nothing to do with the direct spec of the comic book game. I mean, Comic Book Woman had me up at 5:00 in the morning so I could set up their stream so they could cover the last episode of WandaVision. And I haven't even seen WandaVision, but I'm the guy up in the morning. I'm like, oh, rubbing crap out of my eye. Like, yeah. So, they're creating side content intentionally, and it's just stuff they don't have to make, and it's out there.
Well, that's good marketing on Disney's part, right? They did a very minimal amount of marketing, and then everybody else went and evangelized for it.
Yep.
Right? That the best marketing is word of mouth, and the more videos you see talking about how good something is, the better it's going to sell. But that's not. I mean, you can engineer for that, but I just don't think that they are. Like, Disney is too big of a brand to fail, so they don't have to worry about that.
That's true. Well, at least they're still keeping it fun. So, was this your last pick, Aaron?
Yep.
All right. Well, guys, that was what we're eating this week on Comic Book Food Chain. If you guys are, again, digging this, we're about to get into some more. Make sure you click the button stuff. But we're getting ready to wrap it up. But again, let's just touch on a few more house cleaning items before we call it for the night. Let's bring that back. Let me see. Oh, wait, I'm not doing it.
So, I wanted to give shout outs to Chad Cave, Mr. Bolo, for joining us. I caught you on Instructing Chad. Great show. Let's see who else is in here. I saw 9 Square Inches stick it out throughout the whole entire show. Jay Stacks, always a pleasure. So yeah, welcome everyone, and thank you for watching on the rewind if you couldn't catch us live.
Absolutely.
And then next week, Ant, you want to do it?
Sure. Next week, guys. So if you guys have not seen, and we said at the beginning, we got a killer Miles Morales issue 25. This is going to kick off like a whole Clone Saga story arc with Miles, and Greg Horn did an exclusive for us. It's killer. Fucking fantastic.
That is not the art for it.
What's that?
This is not the art for it, just so everyone's clear. We are going to reveal on the next episode.
So what he's getting at is basically Greg's going to join us. So make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday. Make sure you're ready. You set your alarms, you sub, you hit the little bell, all the things, because Greg Horn is going to be on chit-chatting with us, as you can see, kicking it with Greg Horn. And we got a little special surprise lined up for that day. Yeah,
if you like Greg Horn and Greg Horn's art and you maybe want to own some someday, I would tune in.
If you want to own something just a little extra special, you might want to be there.
If you like head starts, maybe early access, shit like that. Not confirming anything, but if you like that kind of stuff, swing back through. You don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen between the hours of 7:30 and 9 p.m. PST.
Absolutely, yes. And if you guys like peanut butter sandwiches with bananas, and I'm just creating spec now. What else? That was it.
You guys heard it. We're getting Miles Morales and banana variant cover, scratch and sniff edition.
Yes.
And I think Greg Horn's going to be a perfect fit for this group. Like, have you seen any of his stuff on his Facebook group? That group is nuts. Wild, and he is awesome on camera. Like, he's even there when you meet him in person too. Like, he's the nicest creator I have ever met, besides Frank.
So Frank, I don't know if you heard this story, Frank, but he was doing a giveaway. And this is like my introduction to Greg Horn. He's doing a giveaway, and what he did was he got a firework, an explosive one that did boom, boom, not pretty.
I was entered into that one.
He put all the names for the giveaway, shot this firework off, it exploded, and the first piece of paper that he could find on the ground that had a name on it was their winner. So he's like roaming around looking for firework parts, and he grabs a name, and that's how he picked a winner, was blowing up the winners list.
Okay.
He's had some like crazy giveaways. Like I think one of his assistants like was put all the names on a board, and they were throwing knives or darts or something like that at it.
We're gonna do something like this for 1,000. So keep subbing, guys. I want to throw knives at shit.
Dude, yeah. I will order knives on Amazon right now. Throwing knives, like you don't even.
You don't own knives? Oh, well, I guess you probably can't in your house. Too dangerous.
You guys have not met my 10-year-old yet. Oh, maybe yeah, but yeah.
So this is completely unrelated, but I want to talk about it anyway. Since the world is kind of starting to open back up. Last time I was in New York for New York Comic Con, which was a year and a half ago now, I found this great little bar. I can't remember the name of it, but the gimmick of the bar was you order beer, you order a shot, you order whatever, and whatever glass item you get, you can take that into a room in the back and throw it at the wall.
Nah.
That's awesome.
I've never spent so much money at a bar and had so much fun. which is a really, really bold statement. Like I've had a lot of bars. But that's throwing shit at walls. That's that story. It has nothing to do with anything else.
I loved it. That still works. All right, guys. So again, make sure you join us next week. One last reminder, we're getting really close to the 800 mark here. So again, we're going to need you guys to start sending that out to your friends, all your colleagues, anybody that's a collector. We're trying to get to 800 so we can give something really badass to give away. What was that again?
It's the DC Justice League. There it is.
That's right.
Look at that great design slide. Oh, guys, we really want to
get in time for convention season coming back. You know, get the last convention season book that you can remember.
I can't wait to go to conventions again, so I can start picking up stuff to give away, so I can outdo Ant.
Ain't gonna happen, man. I got a warehouse you got to compete with.
It's quality over quantity, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like you have at least one kid, I think two, but I have no kids, so I have the quality of life.
So I can have an FF number 1 if I was minus one child.
I can't speculate about that.
I mean, I have an X-Men 1, and I have an X-Men 1, and I don't have a kid, so
it's true. All right, we could have this debate on another episode. But, guys, if you're watching, you like what we're doing, you like the banter, you like throwing shit at walls, you like to see us throw shit at walls, hit that sub button. Let us give this book away so we can move on to the 900, which is awesome. We're going to reveal that when we hit 800. And then let me give away that Drew Zucker book so I can brag about him, how I give away his books easier than him. Let this be a rivalry with every other comics thing ever.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I had so much fun designing that today.
You look like you had fun designing it because this is a well put together slide.
I really pained over how much space there was between each line of text.
I could totally see you doing that, dude. I see your comic collection behind you.
I mean, which is a sign of a really good graphic artist.
Or a really good serial killer who never gets caught.
I was just about to say that.
Not Sam. I know. I beat you too. Just like I beat you at giveaways.
Oh, God. Okay, you guys heard it. It's on.
But who's got the Vision crown?
Who was able to mail out the first 2 giveaways before both of y'all?
That's not my fault. That's not Square Inch's fault. 9 Square Inch got in touch with me this weekend.
I'm gonna make Gogol's books look like back issue bin giveaways.
I mean, obviously my books are like decent enough for people to like hit me up like, the day of premiere or the next day. I
guess. I mean, I don't want to comment on the people who won your book. I don't know them, but maybe they just need comics.
They need a coaster.
My ultimate goal here is to foster some insecurity in you guys, so you guys can make good stuff and I don't have to.
Bro, have you seen this beard? There's no insecurity over here. I'm good.
Yeah, when we hit 800, Ant's gonna shave on screen.
Dude, I'll do like mutton chops or something like I'm down.
Or you could do the Lemmy.
Shave him on screen.
Yeah, I don't want to be cut.
With one of the knives
What's up, Azores Tiger, Eric Cave? I saw Rob's comics in the room too. Thank you for joining us.
Hold on.
Hey,
Hold on,
Zores.
Gogol. You said Laura. I'm gonna get shaved by Laura with the throwing knives.
Yeah, you said you were ordering them from Amazon. We got to use them. It's going to be a while before we hit 1,000, so I'm trying to
I
get them.
got you.
We got to give it a sense of danger too. Laura's got to cook something too.
Oh, jeez. Trying to live, guys. All right, let's keep this bad boy rolling. So again, we put a lot of, well, not we, Aaron and Frank put a lot of work into the Instagram. Again, the slides, the content, all that stuff. Make sure that you're following them there. Yee, what do you do special with this guy?
I promote the shows. I try to put in also, with Frank's help, I also try to put in our picks of the week and stuff like that. So what we're eating will show up on Instagram. Sure. Soon to come, some memes, maybe.
Send us their memes.
I'm writing that.
It's their memes. Appropriate.
Yeah.
Safe for work.
Yes.
If it's not, also let it slide.
We'll laugh. We may never post it, but we'll giggle for sure.
Or we will start a comic book food chain OnlyFans account. Somebody had the idea.
And you can watch me read comics.
And dirty memes. I don't know. Forget that. But yeah, guys, follow us on Instagram. It's at Comic Book Food Chain. Spend a lot of time designing those images. No, I don't. I just crop the ones I do for the show. But it's still my time. So make it worth it.
Yeah. And if he can't do it, I do the same thing. I just kind of crop it.
Yeah, the Square app is incredible. You guys, if you don't have it, download the Square app tonight. They're sponsored by the Square app.
Love it. Love it. Twitter, we're starting to tweet.
What's up?
We're starting to tweet. We're getting the Twitter on.
Oh yeah. We have a Twitter. I purposely cropped off the number of followers from this image because I think it's 7. So go make it not 7. So next time I can be proud of what we're doing.
I don't even follow us. Hold on.
I'm super proud. Also, can we just take a moment to appreciate the incredible food chain logo I designed? Writer, retailer, reader.
I was going to tell you that.
We're going to work that into a video.
So, but I guess the real question is, when are you going to cross over into artists? When are you doing your first cover?
I actually did design a cover. Hang on, I have it.
Uh-oh. Whole new can of worms.
And while you're doing that, I'm going
to calf game.
Comic book food chain.
I don't have it. Those were another black and white book. But yeah, I did a collab cover for a book called Cirrus with another artist, JJ Cott. He did the art and I designed everything around it. It's a super nice cover. I wish more people would let me do their covers, so I could tell them no because I'm very busy.
I love it
doing this show. But if we ever do a comic book food chain exclusive, I will make a really nice back cover.
I'm in it. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for our show tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the comic book food chain. Again, hit the buttons, check out our Instagram, check us out on Twitter as well. If you're not following, head over to the website, sign up for the Bird City Comics newsletter. Again, Mr. Gogol here puts out some fantastic content. We're not just saying that because he's here and we like him. He actually does.
And they don't like him. So.
Exactly. So you know it's real. But yeah, okay, I got it down this time. All right, we're getting ready to get in the show, but I got it down. You guys ready?
When you say it with a straight face, you're off the hook for getting shaved by Laura with the knife. Okay. But not a day sooner.
All right, ready? All right, guys, this was Comic Book Food Chain. Until then, stay hungry, y'all.